Ah, yes, the Killmonger hairstyle. What was initially popularized by the 2018 film Black Panther and its villain to becoming an oversaturated style. Why did this style become so popular? Before I get into this is just my opinion on the matter. Of course, this isn't a definitive reason, but the reasons I give may add some context to the conversation. Let's get into it. While the hairstyle's origins aren't too clear, what can be said is that the style combines a tapered fade, a clean shape up, and defined smaller locks. However, when it comes to locks, there is a lot of history. In the context of Africa, locks have had their origins in ancient times in various African cultures and has various spiritual meanings. The practice can also date back to 3000 BCE in the Sahara Desert. The Kikuyu and Somali people wear braided and locked hairstyles. During the 1952 rebellion against the British in Kenya, the Mau Mau uprising, the Kikuyu soldiers wore the style, which would inspire Rastafarians. In terms of the African diaspora within the Americas and in Europe, the style's popularity can be attributed to the civil rights movement of the 60s, the Black is Beautiful movement, as well as the natural hair movement. As well as these Black American movements that also made its way to Europe, many Black communities there were also inspired by Rastafari culture, especially due to the popularity of reggae music and its artists like Bob Marley and Dennis Brown in the 1970s. By the 1990s onwards, many Black figures in media adopted locks as a hairstyle, with varying lengths, styles, details, and colours. This style is seen as an opposition to Western, Afro-centric standards of beauty, a symbol of Black liberation to maintain the health of natural hair, and by extension as a connection to African heritage. Some have attributed the prominence of this hairstyle to French model Harry Samba, who took pictures of this look in 2016 and went viral. The look would be popularized by Marvel's successful 2018 film Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler. Set in the fictional country of Wakanda, its resident villain, Killmonger, portrayed by actor Michael B. Jordan, and his hairstyle would be the talk of the town. Upon watching the film that year, I loved its definition, how his tapered cut blended with his locks, and how it was presented in various ways to tell his story throughout the film. Considering that Killmonger had Black American and Wakandan heritage, his character was a combination of both worlds and customs. A rebel in many ways, in dress, personality, style, and of course, hair. Now, contrary to popular opinion, he actually wore different hairstyles throughout the film. However, why did this one stick in video games? I'd say that when the film was blasted into the zeitgeist and became popular, many saw the look as cool, different, and a contrast from all the characters in the film. For many developers creating character designs around that time, I personally think that many devs wanted a piece of that cool factor, and the idea of coolness, being cool, has always been associated with Black culture, specifically Black American culture. Truly, I'd say that many of these developers missed the mark. According to Ryan Coogler, the architect of the style was hairstylist and barber Jove Edmond, who was also a personal barber to Michael B. Jordan. In relation to the hairstyle's prominence in video games, he mentioned in a 2025 interview with podcast 7 PM in Brooklyn,
this incredible artist, but he designed that cut, and I remember all of the conversations we had about it, about the length of it, and managing it. A lot went into that, like making it literally how it was going to lay and how it was going to move around in his action scenes, and the fact that it still shows up, I think is awesome. Yeah. But yeah, bro, it's interesting, man. Cause I think as we get more people in certain industries, like in gaming design and game development, you'll see us reflected in the full scope of what we are. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real thing, man.
My problem here is when a hairstyle like this is taken out of context and saturated to the nth degree. I wouldn't have minded the style appearing in video games had it not been made as a default style for black male characters and not seen as the only option. As diverse as black hairstyles are, there has been an uphill battle, especially when it comes to coilier hair textures. The majority of video games and video game development view hair through a white Western lens, which results in black hairstyles being an afterthought, or by extension, not existing at all. Of course, I'm not denying there have been strides in the portrayals of black hair in video games since 2004's GTA San Andreas, or even 2003's Enter the Matrix, that succeeded in showcasing Niobe's trademark Bantu knots. Some hair examples that look great is Kimberly's hair in Capcom's Street Fighter 6, released in 2023, and 2020's Spider-Man Miles Morales, developed by Insomniac, who sported a clean shape-up, fade, and thick, coily hair. Guess what both of those examples have in common? Both game developers consulted with black people or were in the development room. More on this point later. Now, it's more so the fact of developers that want to include black hair but don't bother to put in the effort of consultancy and or having black people in those development rooms. I don't see this as appraisal. I give them the bare minimum, because this is what they should be doing if they care to include black hair. So what's going on, and is there really an excuse? While Black Panther was a success, I think the issues prevalent is that number one, devs should listen to, work with, and understand black creatives nuanced in the variety of hairstyles. Number two, ignoring or not caring. And number three, polygon budgets, which leads into not having a library of references for black hair. While there are black people in the industry, a key reason is that there is also a lack of black people within these spaces behind the scenes. In a 2021 survey conducted by the International Game Developers Association, only 5% of game developers were black. In the UK, only 2% of developers are black, according to the UKIE 2022 Diversity Census. Whether it's socio-economic issues or hiring practices, black people can find it difficult getting into the industry. With this considered, one's perception of black hair and culture will be limited if black developers are not behind the games. Which leads to point 2. If developers aren't familiar with black culture, they will only see it through the lens of black popular media and stereotypes, assuming that there is a one-size-fits-all approach to portraying hair, as seen with the Killmonger style. While I understand that people were developing games during this time period, at the same time, where's the variation? There's so much hairstyles, it's overused and it's just copy and paste. I don't know. The look seems to be deemed as a style of convenience and risk averseness. According to Isaac Olander, CEO of Tallgran Studios, from a developer point of view, I see it as a simple hairstyle to approach from a technical standpoint. It's already been working in games, and it's been accepted as something authentic. And for many game companies, this means that it's an efficient hairstyle that's been proven to work. But what we do see is that many games use this hairstyle, but they might not know how to make other various hairstyles to go along with that option. Furthermore, there's a lack of access to diverse dev teams who can help guide the proper implementation into those games. Diverse dev teams definitely would help this problem. Most importantly, throughout the development of 3D computer graphics, hair creation, hair libraries, and its algorithms have been made with straight hair in mind, with Afro-textured hair being severely underrepresented. Point 3 adds an argument that many haven't really touched upon, and that factor is that when it comes to black hair of various textures and styles, the issue for some developers are polygon budgets. When it comes to creating curls in 3D software, splines are used. These splines have no surface and have more than 2 points on a hair card, compared to thinner hair which would only use 2 points on a hair card. With this, curlier hairstyles can be made. By adding more hair cards, this creates more definition and, by extension, pushes the polygon budget to a higher value. However, this requires more processing power, but with many engines being able to render strands of hair in real time, is defaulting to one hairstyle simply laziness? Partially, I think so. Now, while I can understand that developers and companies go back and forth on things like budget and logistics, I think not allowing for different black hairstyles in video games is definitely a disservice. Fortunately, strives to make black hair accessible to learn and understand through a hair library and by algorithms made a breakthrough in the 2020s. In response to the lack of libraries for black hair, artist, game designer, and an associate professor of performance play and design at University of California, Santa Cruz, A.M. Dark founded the open source Afro Hair Library in 2020. It's a free 3D model database for black hairstyles and textures. Her work would garner support and praise, and received collaborations with Ulta and Dove Beauty in 2023 on the Code My Crown Hair Library campaign.
We are taking black hair textures and styles and making sure that we can represent them properly in games and other media.
The important part is to approach it like real hair. So how does real hair actually behave?
Defined as the world's first guide training game developers on how to code for black hairstyles and textures within games. In collaboration with researchers at Yale University and the University of California, Santa Cruz, that same year, collaborated on a breakthrough research paper titled Lifted Curls, a model for tightly curled hair simulation. And in 2024, CurlyQ, geometric methods for highly curled hair, about the physics of animating curly, curled and Afro-textured hair, which would be featured at the SIGGRAPH Asia conference in Tokyo, Japan that same year. Here's a key quote that A.M. Dark said about this project. With so many other things, whether it's food or music or fashion, when you prioritize black features, black cultures, it actually opens up creativity for everyone. The black diaspora pushes culturally in a lot of ways. Definitely. While strides have been made in showcasing black hair, it's time to show other hairstyles. And with technology constantly advancing and improving, there is honestly no excuse. That concludes the video. What are your thoughts on the Killmonger hair becoming a default for black male characters? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.